And you're
So
Director of
I'm the director of the National TBI and Emotional Wellness Alliance, and I'm also director of the Center for Policy, Advocacy, and Education at the Mental Health Association of New York City.
All right, with Kim Williams. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, good. You're doing a lot of good things, and we love when people are doing good things.
Yes.
So tell us about the organization, some of the good things that are happening.
Well, tonight, this is about building awareness around traumatic brain injury and its emotional impact. And so in addition to having this event where we're building education, we are also using this event to launch the National Traumatic Brain Injury and Emotional Wellness Alliance, which is focused on building awareness and education around this issue, but it's also focused on disseminating information and developing sound policy advocacy and policy initiatives at this convergence of brain injury and mental health.
Tell me how the public can get involved.
Well, the public can get involved by actually joining our efforts. They can become members of the TBI and Emotional Wellness Alliance. It's free, it doesn't cost anything to join, and once we're launching, we'll be sending out a lot of information about our work.
Do you have a website?
Yes, www.mha-nyc.org.
Okay, last question. What's good news for you?
What's good news for me? Good news is people taking care of themselves and being well and promoting good mental health and well-being.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm here with Sylvia Mackey. Hi, Sylvia. How are you?
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Okay, good. You know the life of athletes.
Yes.
And yourself, were you an athlete yourself, I believe?
I played basketball in high school. My nickname was Spider. I had all these long arms and everything. Yeah.
And were you fortunate enough to be in good health?
Fortunately, yes. We didn't play a rough game then. In fact, I know I'm dating myself when I say we played half-court girls basketball then. Okay?
That's all right.
All right.
It's all good, but you married an athlete, right?
Yes, yes.
And your husband was professional?
Yes.
And so when he went to go out on the field, some concerns always, wondering, hoping,
Actually,
praying?
well,
No?
you know what? He didn't play like that. He said you couldn't give it your all if you were playing in the frame of mind that you were afraid of getting hurt. He just wanted to give it his all. And I believe that there were times he might have had a ding or two where he just went right back in the game. There's one in particular that I remember in an exhibition game against Philadelphia, and when he ran into the goalpost head first. Sometimes I think that's what caused what happened to him. And he fell backwards on the ground and didn't move, and you could hear a heartbeat in the stadium. It was that frightening.
You know, the new technologies that are coming up, and it seems to actually be a lot of conversation about helmets and equipment.
Yes.
It sure as heck would have been better, huh, for your husband to have that kind of stuff?
Yes, it would have been. I mean, every precaution that they can take, it's not too much. The game's not going to go anywhere, let's face it, but let's protect it as much as we can. And I know he would have been an advocate for that, but he wasn't thinking about getting hurt, Paul, at that time. He just wanted to do his best.
That was his thing. That's what athletes do.
Right.
No doubt about it. So the organization like this is honoring you tonight. Now that's good news, isn't it?
Yes, I feel though I just was doing what I had to do, and I appreciate so much that I'm being honored for that. It's amazing. It's beyond what I would expect.
Well,
that's how to put it,
in
right?
In essence, what you're saying is how humble you are. Tell us some of the things, though, you are doing, because good begets good. And when people know that you do good, you know what? Maybe they will now go do good. You're not looking for the award. You're looking for the do good. Tell us some of the things
people
that you've helped.
Yeah, I didn't even realize when they instituted the 88 plan that so many other wives would be reaching out to me for an explanation of it. So I had to become very savvy on what all of the wording was. And then there were wives also who didn't know what to do when their husband started to display symptoms of Alzheimer's or dementia. They would say, oh, he has this blank stare, or he went out and he didn't remember where he was going. They didn't know where to turn. And if you live in the middle of Wyoming and you don't know the nearest neurologist, you need someone to talk to point you in that direction. And it made me very happy to be able to do that.
What is this 88? Tell us what that is.
Well, my husband's number was 88, playing number, jersey number, all through college and professional football. So when I came forward to Paul Tagliabue, explaining all of everything that I saw going wrong and heard from other wives, because I wasn't stigmatized by his disease. I was vocal about it. I let everybody know what was going on. These wives had questions. And so Paul went to the league and they came up with the 88 plan named in honor of my husband's jersey, which was better and softer than just naming it the John Mackey plan.
There you go.
And it makes people ask,
And,
what is it?
And by asking, our audience now knows.
Yes.
And knowledge is wealth, by far. Last
Yes.
question. What's good news for you?
What's good news for me is that the 88 plan is increasing with inflation, because when it first started, I thought, oh gosh, 10 years from now, $88,000 isn't going to mean that much for out of home care, in a facility care. And now it's already from $88,000 to $100,000 to $130,000 as the years go on. And they've added ALS and Parkinson's, so it's not just those players afflicted with Alzheimer's or dementia.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for
All right,
doing that.
thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure
Okay.
as well. Okay, I'm here with Gary Beeben. Hi, Gary. How are you?
Fine, how are you, Paul?
Okay, good. From Chicago.
From Chicago,
Okay,
yes.
what brings you here tonight?
Well, we came for the event, and Kevin Danny, he has been a supporter. He's been a friend for a long time, and so I decided to join.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
But why?
Well, actually, I've been involved with head trauma and injury and concussions more from the military side and the Marine Corps, and this is simply an extension of that. And, there are more athletes that are becoming involved in such things, and I think any cause that helps the research and advance, hopefully, some solutions is a good thing to be a part of.
All right, we like solutions.
Yes.
That's good news.
Yes.
So, in what regard were you involved with those kinds of serious things?
Well, fortunately, personally, I have not been involved in it.
Right.
I've just really been
That's good news, too.
active with the opportunities to try and support the causes that are trying to come up with the solutions, or at least trying to figure out how to make a safer game to play, a game which I love to play, and it was very important in my life and helped me out a great deal. Hopefully they'll be able to find ways to make it safer. It's an important cause.
So, do you think we're going to get some solutions here, inch by inch?
I'm not sure that we can play the game the way it's been played and the way people are accustomed to seeing it played, to see making it safer. I think everybody is reaching for those things. I'm not sure that anybody has anything yet that can solve the issue that we're dealing with. It's a serious one.
What inspired you to be in the game, knowing that sometimes it potentially has hazards?
Well, you're being nice. When I played the game, I don't think the hazards were as known. Concussions that you might get during a game were pretty well forgotten about pretty quickly as soon as you could get back in the game. So I think obviously those things have gotten more exposed here, and the eventuality of what's happened. So it wasn't such a big issue when I was playing, but now seeing some friends and some people that I know, and I'd like to see the game hopefully get safer someday so it could be played by everyone.
There you go. Okay. Last question. What's good news for you?
What's good news? Summertime is almost here. I'm tired of winter being from Chicago.
that makes sense.
That does.
Okay. Thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Paul,
Thank
nice seeing you.
Nice
Thank
seeing
you.
you as well.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here with the president of the organization, Giselle Soper.
Yes.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Very good, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a wonderful night.
She's recovering from all the lights and all the photos of everybody. That
Yes.
can give you a concussion of unto itself.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about the seriousness, though, of what you're doing and why are you doing it? Why are you the president? Why are you, I'm sure, driven every day to help those who might have had a hard time?
Well, I've been doing it for over 20 years, 22 years. It's been my career ever since I've been out of school, which has been quite a long time now. I came to MHA in 1990. And actually, I became interested in the field, not unlike many people, because my mother had bipolar disorder. And I grew up wanting to be able to help her, and I couldn't. And so I decided in college to devote my career to trying to help others. And MHA is just a wonderful organization. We have a terrific staff. We have over 200 staff. We provide an array of services for people with serious mental illness, from housing to job training, for programs for young children and adolescents to help them get better and go on and lead full and productive lives.
How does somebody find you, and how does somebody take it?
Advantage of us?
Let's call it that. We'll take advantage.
Well, one of the ways we're actually very unique, and many people know about us because one of our programs in New York City is 1-800-LifeNet. And LifeNet is the city's main number for people to call if they're looking for behavioral health services or if they have a question about themselves or a loved one, about a child. And so they can call 1-800-LifeNet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The phone lines are staffed by mental health professionals who are trained counselors who are able to speak with them, assess the problem, and then make a referral.
So, I mean, us human beings, in that we're not perfect.
Nobody is.
We have lots of different kinds of things. What are we talking about here? I mean, we have from mental breakdowns to exhaustion to getting hit on the head. Are we saying you're covering a lot of turf here?
Well, a lot of turf, yes, because mental illness is not just one type of illness, like a physical illness. It could be like diabetes. You can have type 1 diabetes, you can have less severe type diabetes, you can have a range of cancer. So there's not one type, and it's the same thing. Mental illness affects the brain. That's the organ that it affects. And there could be a range of mental health problems, from serious mental health problems to minor depressions that can be treated by a practitioner, a general practitioner, not necessarily by a mental health professional. But the main thing is to know that there is help available, to really know what the signs and the symptoms are, and to seek help as soon as possible.
I've been very fortunate because I was with Channel 13 for many years, and I worked on the brain series.
Yeah.
So I learned a little bit about our lovable brain, and we started this series off, and I think I'm using it as a metaphor, with a gentleman named Greg Louganis, who is a famous diver, Olympian. And we put the camera just on his feet, and we watched him climb the diving board. And that's how we started this whole very successful series. The brain is running the show.
Yes, it really is running the show. And that's why we became very interested in this topic, because traumatic brain injury is not just a physical injury, it has psychological implications. And without a doubt, there's an interface between physical health and mental health, between traumatic brain injury and emotional well-being. And we became very interested in that interface between the two, and think it's very important for neurologists and others who diagnose and treat traumatic brain injury to also be sensitive to the psychological problems that can accompany it. And the same thing for people in the mental health field, to be aware of the problems that they'll often encounter in a child or in an adult who may be suffering from traumatic brain injury, but also from depression. And the depression is very real and is important to be as treated as the brain injury.
Last question, what's good news for you?
What's good news for me? A great event tonight, making lots of money so that we can go back and use that money to expand our programs and develop what our vision is for a national traumatic brain injury and emotional wellness council.
Thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Okay, hi, we're here with Kevin Dennehy. Hi, Kevin, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you tonight?
All right, good. We're with the chairman of the board.
Yes, chairman of the board of the Mental Health Association in New York.
How come?
It's a great organization to be able to help people here in the city as well as nationally, to not only deal with mental health issues, but also to really make a change in the community.
Lots of boards, lots of organizations. Why this one?
This one is one where we've got a high ability to create impact with the people that most need it. So the people who aren't otherwise finding medical help from doctors or aren't able to find their way through the system. And so we've created ways both locally as well as nationally through hotlines and visibility in the community like we're having tonight to really be able to reach people.
I love what you do. It's very, very important. And I did the Brain series many years ago on Channel 13 in public television. It's all about the brain and its mental capacity, and our incapacity, combination of.
Well, and what we're here to learn more about tonight is the challenge with mental health, mental illness, is there's so much stigma around it historically that people will look at someone who's got a traumatic brain injury or the result of it and treat them differently than if someone broke a leg or hurt their shoulder. And so what people need is just good treatment, care and prevention from their friends and family. Medical professionals is a great way to get it.
I got people working for me that's 150% to what I am, who have gone through trauma, who've gone through car accidents, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's an amazing the
and
will
it's-
of a body.
It's the military, so it's our men and women coming back from Iraq. It's the sports, it's the kids, it's the professional athletes, and it's people in an everyday life slipping and falling, being in an automobile accident. So it's literally affecting millions of people a year. And Harry Carson was one of the real pioneers around this, becoming aware of and creating awareness around it back in 1990.
Beautiful. Last question. What's good news for you?
What's good news for me is having people be able to overcome the stigma of traumatic brain injury and really eliminate this as a silent epidemic and give it the attention that it needs in both the sports world, the military, and general communities.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Big Daddy Salgado. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, good. So what brings you here tonight?
Well, I'm here for a couple of reasons. One, Harry Carson's being honored. Also, Sylvia Mackey, who I was fortunate enough to meet about a month ago because I was honored at her husband's dinner. And also to get the word out about mental health and awareness.
Okay. Now, are you involved with mental health and awareness in general?
Well, now it looks like I am now because I just got a wind of all of this, about a week ago. And myself, I'm an aneurysm survivor, so that's what the scar is on my head.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of falls in line with mental health and neurology, so it just kind of made sense to be a part of it.
If you don't mind me asking, how did that happen for you?
That happened 2008, and I was very lucky that we found it, and North Shore LIJ took care of me, and I'm standing here talking to you.
All right, and I'm glad you are. What do you say about when somebody has had a unfortunate, well, yours wasn't colliding with somebody, but an unfortunate situation? How do you handle it? How does the family handle it?
Well, you know what? The biggest thing is to realize that you have an issue. A lot of guys sometimes have concussions and don't realize they have it. And then when they have it, they feel like, all right, it'll go away, it'll pass. But sometimes the guy's not ready to come back yet. So I think now people are starting to become aware of the issue and not letting players come back right away.
Okay, sounds good. Last question. What's good news for you?
What's good news for me? Well, you know what? I'm here. It's a festive crowd, and the good news will also be that we get a great message out there and that people become aware of this being a problem.
Okay, thank you so much. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, hi, I'm here with Timothy Mandel. Hi, Timothy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
All right, good. What brings you here tonight?
I'm just out to support this great cause. MHA of NYC has been doing a lot of great work, and I think it's wonderful how they're honoring some of their biggest advocates tonight.
Tell us a little bit about what kind of work you're up to now.
I just got done shooting a series with Vin Diesel, and now I'm actually writing and producing a new film about the Green Berets in Vietnam. So that's what I'm working on right now. Yeah.
Wow. Why that subject?
The military and support of the military has always been a very important thing to me, and this is kind of one of the untold stories from Vietnam, and I think it would bring some great stories to light that I think people are just aren't aware of.
Beautiful. Last question. What's good news for you?
Good news for me. Live every day like it's your last. Have fun.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with George Martin. Hi, George. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. You're a strong guy.
It's just a facade. It doesn't mean anything.
How's your health been?
My health is great. I'm very fortunate that after 14 years in the NFL, that I feel very good, and hopefully there are no signs of lingering illness as a result of that.
What do you do to feel good? What are some of your routine? You're in a physical profession. What do you do to maintain it?
Well, first of all, I think physical fitness is very important. I think if you're going to commit yourself to doing that as a professional athlete, you should continue that practice even after you're done. And that's one thing that I've tried very conscientiously to do. As a matter of fact, 4 years ago, I walked across America to raise money for first responders, rescue and recovery workers.
Yeah,
and since that time, since that time, I've maintained my regimen of working and walking out every day, at least a minimum of 3 times a week.
Yeah, but one of your steps is like 3 from the average. No, that's so you only have to go 1,000 instead of 3,000
Yes.
miles. No, so that's marvelous.
Yes.
What inspired that?
Well, I think number one, being a transplanted New Yorker and seeing the effects of 9/11 and realizing that you were only a hero because you played a kid's game at a professional level, I wanted to do more. I wanted to call awareness to it, and as using my celebrity for something to help others. That was important.
It sounds that. Do you have causes that you also are involved in?
Oh, absolutely. Myself, along with Harry Carson, O.J. Anderson, Joe Morris, and many of us started an organization called Minority Athletes Networking, which is a long version of MAN, M-A-N. And we go into the inner cities of the tri-state area and we raise scholarship funds for those individuals. And that's something we've been doing for 27 years.
Only. All right, this is the good news guy. There's no doubt about it. Thank you. Last question. What is good news for you, George Martin?
Well, first of all, I think it's a culmination of a lot of people with very good intentions, want to be able to have an impact in people's lives. Having the celebrity athletes here today is very important. Sylvia Mackey is here. I think her husband's life is really a tribute to giving, and we want to kind of replicate that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Enjoy the evening.
Thank you. You too. Okay, here with O.J. Anderson. What's good news for you, O.J.?
I'm here to be with my teammate, Mr. Harry Carson, one of the greatest linebackers that ever played the game, a teammate, and also he was an opponent because of what I used to do when I played for the Cardinals. So I'm just here to just get support.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Thank you.
All right.
It's Paul Slack. It's the Good News Plan. I'm here with Lee Woodruff, who I probably should hand the mic over to.
No, I'm happy to have you interview me. You know exactly
Yes?
what you're doing.
Okay, well, I am going to try here. So, congratulations. I know you're involved with this organization. And how come?
Mental health awareness and advocacy is so important to me. A lot of what Bob and I see in our foundation that we started for injured veterans really circles around mental issues. And whether it's post-TBI or post-traumatic stress from being in a war, we don't understand it enough. We're not throwing enough dollars toward it. And we often put all those people in the corner in a box. Those are people where something's wrong and we don't want to deal with it.
That's true. That's very true. And unfortunately, everybody has their own shtick in their lives. And sometimes when somebody is not exactly saying the wrong thing at the wrong moment, it becomes a big question mark on their stability. And that is of a concern because we're all, in essence, brothers and sisters, and we should kind of all work it out. Tell us about your foundation. So when did that get going?
We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation 5 years ago when it really looked like Bob was healing really well and we could take this on. We were humbled by the amount of attention his injury got in proportion to the other service members. We thought we could take our pulpit and story and kind of turn it back on awareness in America, which was really sorely lacking for issues like post-traumatic stress, the hidden injuries of war. And to date, we've given away $11 million in grants. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. There are lots of great organizations in communities around the country doing grassroots work. So they apply to us for grants, and we have an extreme, tight vetting system. And we write them checks.
Wow, that's just marvelous. So you personally, when Bob had his difficult times, how did the family hold up? How'd you do?
Our family was extremely lucky. We had a lot of family around us. My sisters, his brothers. We had friends. We had the resources from ABC News to pay for unlimited rehabilitation. We are not the norm, and we're so aware of that.
Okay, you're appreciative.
I'm so appreciative.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Last question. What's good news for you?
Good news is hopefully we're going to raise some good money tonight and keep the spotlight in New York on mental health.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
you.
Okay, I'm here with Howard Cross. Hi, how are you?
Better than most.
All right.
There you go.
Because?
Just healthy and blessed. Thank God everything's going pretty well. We could always be in a worse place.
You've had a good, healthy career?
Yeah. Thank God for that. Worked really hard, stayed pretty healthy, worked out a lot, not as much as I used to, but kept it in the middle, so to speak.
Why sports for you?
Why sports? That's kind of funny. You guys are in an isolated part of the world where when you're down south or somewhere else, the people we see on TV, the people who are bigger than life, are always sports stars. So you get to try to make your life or model your life after guys like everybody wants to be Kobe Bryant or Shaq or Tiger Woods or A-Rod or Jeter or Messier or somebody. Everybody wants to be one of those guys. And how do you do that? You start working early.
All right. What's good news for you?
I just started a new job with Request of Partners, real estate firm. Still doing some broadcasting, but the kids are doing great. My son has a playoff game tomorrow that I got to go coach in baseball.
That's a proud moment, right?
It's always fun.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm here with Sarah Hughes. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
All right. Did you skate over here tonight?
Skated right over through the red carpet to you.
How'd you learn how to skate?
I started skating when I was 3 because my dad played hockey and my 2 older brothers played hockey, so I'd go to the rink with them, and I didn't really want to play hockey, and so figure skating was the other option.
All right. Where'd you grow up?
In Long Island.
I thought so.
Yes.
So, it doesn't freeze over that much over there. So you literally went to a rink. I mean, the ponds and things, we get some freezing, I guess.
We had 5 minutes from my house, we had a seasonal rink that's open from the fall, and then it closes in the spring. So this year it was open longer. But
I think hockey is growing. Do you think that? Or maybe it's the Stanley Cup right now.
Yeah, well, the Stanley Cup.
I don't know.
The Stanley Cup is very exciting, but I think that I heard women's hockey is the fastest growing sport in the country.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, would you consider doing that?
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
Did you? You've had some injuries in your career, right?
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I think most high-level athletes have.
And how did you handle those?
Like a baby.
Well, that's fair. I cry when I stub my toe.
Yeah. When it depends on the injury, and tonight we're here to raise awareness of the best way to treat concussions and just awareness about mental health issues and trying to take away the stigma of many of them, because a lot of times people are afraid to act like a baby, or they think that if they tell people what's going on, or a coach, that they won't be respected as much by their teammates or people in the community, and that really shouldn't be the case, because having a concussion or some of these injuries are very serious and they need proper care.
And ice skating, especially when there's two, couples, or there's potential of getting hurt, right? You're flipping, you're flying.
Yeah, skating can be a dangerous sport, and there is a lot of, in any sport you can get hurt. There's a risk involved. I've had 2 concussions from skating, and it's a serious thing, and they were seriously dealt with, and they were both before I won the Olympics. So, I was okay and I recovered, but we treated them very seriously.
What do you say to those people around somebody that has gotten hurt? How should they, how do they live with you? How do they work with you? How do they react? What do you suggest?
To someone else who got hurt?
Yeah, somebody who got hurt in the family, a loved one.
Oh, a loved one, you just try to support them and make sure that they're getting good care and they're taking care of themselves. And that's all you can really do. And I think that's why, everybody's here tonight, because everybody who's in sports, all athletes and fans, they want to see their favorite athlete do well. You form relationships, you care about them. And so, this is a nice example of the community coming together to support a cause that we all care about.
Great. Last question. What's good news for you?
It's good news for me. Being here that I live in New York with my friends and family. That is very good news for me.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm here with Scott and Melissa Cutler. Hi, how are you both?
We're doing very well, thanks.
Okay, what brings you here tonight?
Well, I'm on the board of the Mental Health Association of New York City.
And yourself?
I'm supporting my husband and the cause.
That's all good news. We like that. That's very important. How come you're on the board? Why?
Well, I've been involved in the mental health industry dating back for a long time, and I've been involved in the board for the last 2 years, and it's an important issue for me personally and for us as an organization. I'm with the New York Stock Exchange.
You're with the New York Stock Exchange?
Yes.
That's a lot of pressure down there in that room. I imagine there's sometimes mental concerns, ups and downs of life, right?
Sure.
Just because someone has a suit on doesn't mean that they got it all together, right?
Look, I think the importance of mental health is that it does impact people at all stages in life, and the issue that we're focused on tonight is really the impact that it has on sports and sports concussions, as well as with veterans.
The stock market and the financial district here in New York really comes out and does a heck of a lot of good. I know we've covered autism there, and
Sure.
Today Speaks, I believe. In fact, I even rang the bell. So yeah, I mean, I think it's very important for the world to know, and we're luckily able to do that. How many people in the world financial arena really come out and give back to the community?
Right. Well, as you properly noted, our CEO Duncan Niederauer and his wife Allison are very involved in Autism Speaks. They're actually launching a new school called the Mha-Nyc School in New Jersey, which they're building. We're also involved as an organization in financial literacy and entrepreneurship, and those are probably our three big initiatives.
That's fantastic. Last question. What's good news for each one of you?
What's what?
Good news.
Oh, what's good news?
The end of the school year.
Katie Couric also had people that have lots of good news sometimes take a second.
Yeah, I would say surviving the end of the school year would be good news. Summer, a sunny day.
I can appreciate that, says the grandpa. And for you?
No, just being here tonight. This is raise the awareness for a great issue.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thanks.
Okay, hi, I'm here with Harry Carson. Hello, Harry.
How are you?
You have no idea how many people said nice things about you here this evening already.
Well, I hope it's all good, because I've had too many bad things having been said about me in the past.
Well, look, if you just have all the football players that had good things to say about you, nobody would ever say anything bad about you again if they all saw that crowd.
All right.
Well, you got some big guys here.
Yeah.
And caring guys. They're big, but they have big hearts, and that's why they're here. Why are you here tonight?
Well, I'm here because I'm being honored by the Mental Health Association of New York City. I'm honored to be honored by them, and to perhaps bring more attention to traumatic brain injury, as I've been doing for about the last 20 years. Here's another opportunity to bring more awareness to parents, to coaches, owners of football teams and so forth, on the issues of traumatic brain injury.
You know, we interviewed you at the Mark Bonicatti event, and I looked back and saw, and how you were there for him, how he only spoke so highly. This is in your nature, though. It seems to be a good guy.
Well, I try to be a good guy, but I look at myself as an advocate on behalf of different causes, and this is probably a number one cause of traumatic brain injury, because I was diagnosed in 1990 with post-concussion syndrome. So, in essence, what I try to do is speak for all of those who really don't have a voice, and try to draw more attention to this issue.
And you sure do. Last question, what's good news for you?
The good news for me is my son graduated from medical school on Saturday, so I'm extremely happy, and I'm very proud of him, and that's extremely good news.
Great, Harry. Thank you so much, Harry.
All right.